have to and has to, okay? And when we use this. I want you to pay attention and take notes. And then if you have questions, you can ask to clarify your doubts, okay? So let's see here. Let me show you. Okay, so we use have to or has to when something is necessary, when we think that something is necessary to do or to say. Okay, for example, here I have some sentences and I want you to help me to complete these sentences with have to or with has to. Okay, for example, number one, you go to school if you want to be an engineer. What do you think? How can we complete this sentence?
You have to
Have
go
to.
to school if you
Yes,
want.
you have to go to school if you want to be an engineer, okay? Lucas and Mateo clean the house. Their friends are coming tonight.
Have.
Have to again.
Have to, right?
Have to.
Okay. Antonio, see the doctor. He's feeling sick.
Has to.
Has to. Okay. Maria drives slower than 110 kilometers per hour on highways. It's dangerous.
Has to.
Has
Has
to.
to.
Has to. You and your brother study. Your test is next week.
Have.
Have to.
Have to.
Have to. And my mother wake up early to go to her job.
Has to.
Has to, right? So as we can see, we use have to and has to in different situations. For example, when do we have to use have to? When do we need to use have to? ¿Cuándo utilizamos have to y cuándo has to? En esta situación, ¿cuándo utilizamos have to? Any ideas? When the subject is I, you, they, or we, right? We need to use have to. And what about has to? When do we use has to?
Third person.
For the third person, when the subject is she, he, or it, in this case, okay? So remember this. When we have I, you, they, and we, have to. And when we have she or he or it, has to, okay? Then we have the negative form. Don't have to and doesn't have to, okay? We use this when we think that something is not necessary, okay? Here we have some other sentences. I want you to help me to complete the sentences with don't have to and doesn't have to. For example, the first one. You
Don't have to.
don't have to come to school on Sundays. We
Don't
don't have to watch this movie. It's boring. Luana
doesn't have to.
doesn't have to learn English because she lives in France. Luis
Doesn't have to.
doesn't have to buy a motorcycle. He has a car. Alan and John don't have to wear a suit. The party is informal. Your sister
don't have.
Your sister
Doesn't have to.
doesn't have to buy eggs. There are enough for the cake. So sister, remember, is she, right? That's why we use doesn't have to. So the rule is we use don't have to when we are talking about I, you, they, and we. When the subject are any of them. And we use doesn't have to when the subject is the third person, he, she, or it, right? So this is the difference between don't have to and doesn't have to. Any questions about this? Okay, let's go to your book. Here we have exactly the same. Here we have some other examples. It says we use have to and has to say that something is necessary. We have to go there by plane. She has to drive to work. Do you have to take the train to work? We use don't have to or doesn't have to say that something isn't necessary. You don't have to go to work by car. It doesn't have to be stressful to commute. Okay? Let's practice a little bit this on page 132. Something very easy. Let's do exercise number 2. Okay? Try to complete the sentences with the correct form of have to or don't have to. I'm going to give you some minutes so you can complete the sentences and then we are going to check. Okay, let's correct the sentences. Number 1, I'm sorry, I can't talk now.
I
don't have to go.
Have to
I-
go. Have to go.
I have to go, right? Okay, number 2. Number 2,
Do you have to get up early to go to work? Yes, I get up at 5.
yes. Do you have to get up early? Number 3, Matt. Matt,
Matt doesn't have to get in shape. He already swims, runs, and plays soccer every week.
okay. Doesn't have to, right? Sorry. What about the next one? You
Don't have to make dinner. I can do it.
You don't have to make dinner. I can do it. Number 5. Number 5, anybody?
Do children have to go to school?
Very good. When they are 5. My sister
Have to.
have to. My sister, she
Doesn't have to.
doesn't have to teach in a school as a part of her degree in education. What do you think?
Has
Has to, right? Ella tiene que hacerlo. Number 7, do you want to go for a walk?
We don't have to stay at home. You want to go for a walk?
Yes. Number 8, what train
Does Paul have to catch in the morning?
does Paul have to catch in the morning? Very good. Okay. I want you to do